Heaven's California.
Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video, and today, as you can tell by the title, yep, I'm afraid my dad's going to prison. Yeah, don't worry, he's actually not. Today is a little bit of a story. Yesterday I had a phone call, two times actually, from a London number, a 020 number, and whenever I get a funny number and they leave a message on the phone, normally international calls, they always come up international. And as I said, personally, I disconnect that phone all day because all it does all day is ring. But I was yesterday. You heard the phone ring. That was some idiot from Microsoft claiming that my computer had a fault, which it didn't. So that's okay. But this guy, he phoned up twice, and I didn't answer because when you see an international call, you don't pick it up because the rumor is you pick it up. They know your phone line is active. And they'll just pass your number on to all other international companies and international people that go phone up, and they're going to keep ringing you up. So hopefully the phone doesn't ring while I'm telling this little bit of a story. But they left a message 2 times, and so I was like, oh, okay. So the first message they left, both messages were the same. They said they're from HM Revenue and Customs, and that they left a phone number to ring back on, which was the same number that they rang on, and the phone call shouldn't be disregarded, and action will be pursued if you do not ring back. And I was like, oh my god, is this legit? Is this real? So I went and I didn't take any notice of it, and the phone rang again about an hour later, and it was the same phone call, and they left the same message, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay. So they left the message again, and it was the same message with the exact same message, and the woman who left the message didn't sound like an actual person. So I was like, that did make me a little bit suspicious. So I gave the phone a quick ring the second time round, and somebody did pick up, and they said, yeah, HM Revenue and Customs. I was like, holy shit. So I don't have anything to do with HM Revenue and Customs at the moment, as I am not earning any money or paying any tax at the moment. So I put the phone straight down and told my mum when she came in from work, and I was like, yo, I had a phone call twice today, there's 2 messages on the phone, you better listen to them. So we noted down the number again because it disappeared from the phone, and we rang it, and no one picked up. So I was like, the only way we're going to find out whether someone is ringing us up in a scam is you go onto your phone and you type the exact number into Google. Now, phone or tablet, computer, whatever, you type that phone number into Google. If it is a proper phone number, it will come up into Google. Now, this one did come up into Google, I think it was a website called Who Called My Phone or something, or Who's Calling Me, and it gives all details about the threat level, and the threat level for this number was high, and there was 16 comments, and apparently I got the slight gist of what the phone call's about, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to ring them up again, because I'm not having this. These junk calls, legit, I'm being serious now, can scare a lot of people. People like me who've got their heads screwed on, no, this isn't real. But other people who may be a little more naive or aren't so aware of what's happening on the phone and don't know about international calls may actually be quite scared by this. So I picked up the phone, and he was like, yeah, I was like, so why did you call this number? And he was like, yeah, someone in this household's being arrested. And I was like, well, what for? And he was like, yeah, apparently you owe £15,000 to Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. I was like, okay. So I was like, so first of all, who is this that who are you talking about? And he said, first of all, he said Mr. Goodling. I'm pretty sure he meant Mr. Goodling, which is my dad, because there's only 2 people that earn money in the house, my dad and my mum, and he's the only Mr. Goodling in the house that earns money. So I was like, so what you're telling me is that my dad has been frauding the government, he owes them £15,000, and he's going to jail. And he was like, yeah, and I was like, well, how long is he going to be in jail for then? 6 months, a couple of months? No, 5 years. I was like, oh, damn. Because it's not fucking real. Number one, you ever have this phone call? Her Majesty's Government and HMRC, whatever you call them. I normally just call them Her Majesty's or HM Revenue and Customs. They never contact you directly through a phone line. They will write to you. Then if you need to contact them back, or they'll arrange a time where they're going to contact you. That will be in the letter. They'll never phone you up directly. So I was like, so what you're telling me is that he's going to prison for 5 years? And she was like, yeah. Or he, whoever, I think it was a man. Yeah, it was a man. And I was like, okay then. So sure, how is this his fault? His company pays his tax. He's like, oh, I don't know, but he's going to prison. It was a little Indian man on the phone, as it usually is for international calls. I don't know why they use them, I suppose. I don't know. But he was going on about that. And then me and my mum, she was sitting there, well, it would be over there. And we knew he was having this on. And she was laughing. He was like, oh, who's that laughing in the back? This is a serious matter. And I was like, oh, that's just my mum. And he was like, is she mad? And I was at that point, that is when I was like, no, I'm not having this. So I was like, surely this is, you can't arrest someone for a crime they haven't been involved in. The company who he works with is responsible for this. Surely he said, oh no, this is taxpayer's problem. I was like, okay, so when will we hear back? And he was like, oh yeah, we're going to send you a letter. We've sent all letters to people who've committed fraud in the last 5 years to all people who live in and around the London area. I was like, okay. So I was like, well, what do I do here? What do I do now then? He's going to go to prison. Like, I was egging him on. I was like, genuinely acting like, oh my God, like someone's going to prison. He was like, oh yeah, you just casually need to get a lawyer. Like, we have the money to get a lawyer. Not only do we have to pay £15,000 back to the government, we also have to pay money for a lawyer to try and get my dad out of prison. And he was like, yeah. So I was like, just out of interest, what address are you ringing for? And he knew the address. So at that point I was like, okay. Still not convinced. And then I asked him, when will I hear back from you? He was like, oh yeah, if you don't respond to the letter, we're going to be putting you under house arrest. And I was like, so you're going to come collect him and bring him to prison then? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, so I need some more proof of who he is. So I thought, how can I catch this bugger out? How can I catch this bastard out? So I was like, I got it. What company does my father work for? And he was like, oh, goodbye. And then he hung up the phone. So I knew that was all over. And they haven't rung since. If it was that important, they would have been ringing if he's broken the law. So he obviously hasn't broken the law. But again, it's just not very good, really, is it? The amount of spam phone calls we get, like, I've been moaning so much. The amount of spam phone calls we actually get in this household is unreal, like, it's mad. And they're all stupid. They're all stupid phone calls. And there's really nothing much you can do about it, because I think we signed up to a telephone service a couple of years ago, and they didn't actually help at all. They were just like, we don't care. Like, we're just going to keep bringing you through these international calls. And the best way to deal with them is to not answer them. But they're so funny when you answer them. Because I've had someone before. He was one of these Microsoft ones. I don't know if any of you guys at home have ever had them. But you get this person ringing up, pretending they're from Microsoft. And it's either you've got a virus on your computer, you've got a virus in your network, or you have an electrical error in your computer. If I have an electrical error on any of our computers, we would know for a start, because they wouldn't be turning on. If we had a virus that's been on them for months, they say, oh, it's been on it for weeks, we'd notice something was up. The security would pop up, mine would anyway. And then if there was if there's a virus in the network, then all the computers and the TV and the box, smart boxes, would all be affected. So I was like, I don't think you're calling from Microsoft. The bastard, he only went and called me a motherfucker, didn't he? He was swearing down the phone at me, racially abusing me at some points. Like, that's why I don't like. I'm not going to get into all race parts, because I I've given up being racist on the phone. It's not even funny anymore. So I was like, so what? You're half of these calls every time you start questioning them, and then you know that it's fishy, because they'll just start swearing at you. They'll be like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Oh, you're a motherfucker! Oh, I hope your parents die." Like, I don't know what call centre you're working for, bro, but if I heard my employee calling someone over the phone a motherfucker, I would be very, very concerned. I'm surprised the police haven't been called on these numbers, because they're absolutely junk. They're junk, and I think they really do need to stop. Something needs to be stopped about them, because I get up to the phone all the time. Let me about having to answer the home phone. I'm having to keep my mobile on, it's normally on vibrate, because just YouTube stuff and all that. That's why I've been doing more vlogs, because I've had to be sat downstairs, because I've got someone's supposed to be ringing me this week regarding something. I don't know whether they're going to ring this phone, I don't know whether they're ringing that phone. We have a phone upstairs as well, but, like, I want to get games out, but at the moment it's a little bit tricky, and I thought this is too much of a good opportunity to share. Maybe the title will encourage a few more people in. I'm joking. But it really is bad that that's happening. Some people would be genuinely scared if that was to happen to them. But that is going to call it for this video, guys. Oh my goodness. If you did enjoy this little bit of a story, make sure to give it a good old thumbs up. And remember to comment. Do you need to comment? Not really. There's nothing really to comment on today. Actually, no. Comment down below. Have you guys ever had any spam phone calls? Funny moments on the phone to people calling from abroad or a call centre? I've had plenty of lovely conversations with them. Not pleasant conversations, but entertaining ones. And, yeah, also make sure, if you are not currently subscribed, make sure you're doing it, because we're chasing that 200 subs. The progress so far, the support has been absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you anymore, but that's going to call it for this one. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.